Hi, and welcome back to my channel. You're joining me today here on board Balmoral, which is one of the cruise ships in the Olsen Cruise Lines fleet. And in this video today, I'm going to be taking you on a full detailed cabin tour of a balcony junior suite up on deck number 9 of the ship. I really hope you'll enjoy having a look around this suite because it's totally different to any of the other cabins that I've shown you on board the ship so far. If you do enjoy this video today, and if you find it useful, I've got so much more to show you from Olsen Cruise Lines. I'll provide a link at the end of this video over to that playlist. If you do enjoy it, then it would be great if you would think about supporting my channel by clicking both the thumbs up and the subscribe buttons. But look, join me outside and let me show you around Suite 9016, which is a junior balcony suite up on deck number 9. The specific cabin that I'm showing you around today is at the front of deck 9. In fact, there are only a handful of cabins that are further forward than this one. You'll see why that's important later in this tour when we move outside to look at the view from this room. You might be wondering, how does a balcony junior suite differ to a balcony cabin on board Balmoral? Well, there's not too much in it when it comes to size. If you're looking at a balcony cabin on this ship, they come in between 248 and 260 square feet, whereas this balcony junior suite comes in at around 279 square feet. You'll see when you come in that you've got your beds on the left-hand side. You've then got a seating area up at the end in front of that glass, which we'll come back to, and then you've got the desk and the vanity unit over on the other side. This seating area is currently arranged as 2 chairs facing a coffee table in the middle, but I did also see cabins while on board that had the 2 chairs on one side that therefore allowed more space to move around. This cabin is currently set up as a twin, but you would be able to book this room as a double. That would mean that the beds would be pushed together and you would have a bedside unit on either side. Speaking of bedside units, let's move in and have a look at what's on this one. Directly on top, you've got your in-cabin phone. Now, you can use that phone to call all around the ship totally free of charge. You can also call ashore using that phone, but I never recommend doing that because it's pretty expensive. Underneath, you've got one of my favourite features of so many of the cabins on board Balmoral. This is a true nod to the ship's past and the history that's on this ship. Down here, you can control various things like the tabletop lamp, the ceiling lights, various music channels to allow music to then be piped into the suite itself and also into the bathroom. Directly opposite the beds on the other wall, you're going to find a flat screen television. That's mounted on a movable wall bracket, so whether you're looking to watch that from the seating area or the beds, you're not going to have a problem at all. We'll come back and cover this desk or vanity area and all of the storage around it shortly. Underneath the television, you've got a tray that's got some snacks, some wines, and then directly underneath that, you'll find your mini bar or your refrigerator. If you're not going to use what's already stocked in there, my top tip is always to ask your cabin attendant to empty that. That way you can use that fridge for anything that you need during the cruise. I usually like to store things like my water bottle in there, as an example. Moving over to look at the desk, you've got everything that will be available to you when you check in, including your binoculars, your atlas, which I always think is a really nice touch. You've also got things like the spa menu, your passenger guidebooks, your welcome on board literature, and you've also got your tea and coffee making facilities. One thing that I really enjoy about cruising with Olsen Cruise Lines is the fact that every single cabin on board gets things like a kettle, mugs, glasses to use throughout their cruise. You'll find that you've got basic tea and coffee here, but if you are looking for any other flavours, you can just get that from the Thistle restaurant on board. In terms of power outlets, you'll find various power outlets on the right-hand side and also over here on the left. It's always worth bringing an international travel adapter with you when you cruise, just so that you can make sure you've got the right outlet or plug point for your room. Underneath this desk, you've got 4 drawers on either side of the chair. On this side, they're all empty, so plenty of storage opportunities. Over on the right-hand side, 3 of them are empty, and one of them houses your in-cabin hairdryer. There are 2 hairdryers in this cabin. One is here, and the other is in the bathroom, but you'll see shortly that the one in the bathroom is much, much older, so the one in here will be much more efficient. Mounted directly onto the mirror above the desk, you're going to find 2 wall lights. They give off a really nice light in here, so whether you're using this desk to do a bit of work or to sort your hair and makeup before you head out around the ship in the evening, you're going to have absolutely no problems here at all. Now let's move on to talk about the subject of air conditioning. You can make this cabin warmer or cooler by using this device here. All you have to do is slide the bottom of the unit and you can see that the arrow is moving to the left or to the right. I found the air conditioning on this ship to be pretty quiet, so no issues at all. Now moving to look at storage in this cabin, you'll find that you've got 2 double wardrobes over here. Let's have a look in the first one. In here, you've got loads of hanging space, you've got your pool towels or your beach towels, your safe, and you've got 4 drawers down at the bottom of the cupboard. You'll also find things like your slippers and your bathrobes in here that are totally included with your cruise fare, but you must make sure that you leave them when you check out. In this wardrobe here, you've got more hanging space, you've got your laundry list and all the paperwork you need if you'd like to make use of that facility. You've got the same 4 drawers that we saw in the other wardrobe, and you'll also find life jackets in there too. On the back of the cabin door, you're going to find everything you need to know about the evacuation plan. So where is your emergency muster station? And you'll also find your plaque that you'll hang outside the room to communicate with your cabin attendant as to whether or not you'd like to not be disturbed or to get your cabin made up when you head outside. Moving on to look at the bathroom, there are a couple of surprises in here. The primary one for me was finding a bath at the end of the room. I really like having a bath on a cruise ship. Here, it's a relatively low tub, so don't worry from an accessibility point of view too much. In here, you've got a detachable shower head, you've got a couple of grab rails, so if the ship is moving, that shouldn't be too much of an issue. And you've also got a retractable washing line, so if you would like to make use of, for example, the onboard swimming pools, or if you'd like to wash through some clothes on your own, then you can hang them up to dry in here, no problem at all. You've got some open storage directly above the toilet, and the toilet itself is down at the bottom. The one final thing to mention in this bathroom before we head back out is that older style hairdryer that I mentioned to you earlier. You'll find that just mounted to the wall here, directly in front of the mirror above the sink. Now let's head outside, because at the end of the day, if you're booking a balcony junior suite, the balcony is probably one of the most important aspects. One thing that I really liked about this part of the cabin is the sheer amount of glass. There was so much more glass in here than I'm used to with a typical balcony cabin, and I really liked those curved sections both on the left and the right. This door is lockable, and you can do that by sliding this to the left or the right. And let's now head outside. Unfortunately, it was a relatively rainy, cold day while I was on this cruise during the filming of this tour, but you can imagine relaxing out here with your morning coffee or your lunch during a day at sea in slightly warmer climates than I was in. Out here you've got 2 chairs and a small table, and you've got a light directly above the door, which you can turn on and off from inside the suite. If I now show you over the side, you'll be able to get a true appreciation for just how far forward this room really is. And in fact, that section you can see sticking out way at the front is actually the bridge. So you are all the way at the front of the ship in here. And that's it. That's a full look round a balcony junior suite on deck number 9 of Balmoral. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Would you cruise in here, or would you rather cruise in a different type of cabin? If you'd like to see more from my time on board various Fred Olsen Cruise Line ships, then why not come and join me in another video? Here, you'll find a playlist dedicated to this cruise line, and I've got so much more to show you. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.